The decisions you make go a long way in determining the quality of life you have in the future. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be telling you why I wish I didn't spend so much money on my first car. I want to start this video by saying some of the decisions you make today can really influence the quality of life you have in the future. And one decision I wish I could redo is the amount of money I chose to spend on my first car. To give you some perspective, I'm going to tell you what kind of car I drive. So I drive a 2016 Honda Accord Coupe. It's a 276 horsepower V6. It's a beautiful car. I love the car. It cost me $30,000, which I think is a lot for a car at this point in my life. I wish I thought about that 2 years ago. But yeah, it cost me $30,000 to buy the car. Now owning the car, it cost me about $250 a month on gas because I do drive a fair distance to work, and it costs me $350 a month for insurance. I have third-party insurance, meaning that if I get into an accident, the insurance company is going to cover damages on my car and damages on the person I get into an accident with. So why did I buy a car, and what was I looking for in a car? So I live in the Greater Toronto area, and everything outside Toronto is a long commute. If you to work for me, it's a long commute. To church, it's a long commute. To the gym, whatever it is, it's quite a distance. That's how it is outside the Greater Toronto area. So it was actually a smart financial decision for me at the time to buy a car, because otherwise I would have been spending a lot of money on Uber if I wanted to do that. And secondly, it saved me a lot of time, which I think is the most valuable thing. And what was I looking for in the car? So I was looking for comfort in the car, I was looking for speed, and I was looking for a car that looked cool. How much do I think I should have spent on my first car? I think I should have spent no more than $10,000 on my first car. Why? My first video spoke about how saving and investing money every month can make you rich. The same principle applies here. Every dollar I did not spend on my car is money that would have been invested and used for something more meaningful in the future. And meaningful may mean a different thing for me than what it is for you. Meaningful could mean having enough money saved up for a down payment for a house. Meaningful could mean having money set aside for your kids before they're even born. But at the end of the day, meaningful to me is just about getting the things that bring you closer to the life that you desire. The bottom line at the end of the day is thinking about the future value of money, and that's something that I personally practice in my life. I think about what value money can add to my life down the line versus spending it today. A dollar saved today could mean $100 available in the future to invest in something else. At the end of the day, I know realistically a lot of people finishing university or coming out of college looking to buy a car probably don't have $20,000-$30,000 sitting in the bank account. So you are likely taking out a car loan, which to me is bad debt. I say bad debt because to me there's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt to me is, for example, having a line of credit with the bank, taking that line of credit and investing in a property that gives you $600 to $1,000 worth of cash flow every month. That is good debt because you're going to be repaying that debt and at the same time making money off that investment. Versus taking out a car loan where the car is depreciating in value every month, you're spending more money to maintain the car and you're pretty much not making any money out of that car. The other thing is any existing debt that you have limits the amount of money you can borrow from the bank in the future. So for example, if I wanted to go to the bank to borrow money for education or to borrow money for a house or mortgage, the bank will look at how much money I already owe. So they'll look at my car loan, they'll look at how much money I owe on my credit card and any other form of revolving or instrumental credit I have. And that will help determine how much they would approve me for. So you want to be careful about any kind of debt that you're carrying around, especially bad debt. Recall I said I would have personally spent no more than $10,000 on a car. And I know that $10,000 may seem like a lot of money, but the reason why I say 10,000 is because for 10,000 you can find your car or find yourself a reliable car. It might not be a Mercedes, might not be a BMW, but it's going to be a reliable car that's going to get you from point A to point B and very likely look nice as well. So that is why I would say 10,000. For those who don't know, one very good place to find cars is actually online. So I personally found my car on a website called Auto Trader. I'm gonna attach a link to that website in the description for this video. They actually have an app as well, so you can go in there, put in your parameters for how much you're willing to spend, the number of kilometers you want on the car, what kind of car you want as well, what make, what model, and it'll show you what's available in a radius that you choose. So yeah, Auto Trader is a very good way to find a used car. What are the things you need to consider when buying a car? So I think 3 things you need to consider when buying a car are your daily commute, how long you intend to keep the car, and depreciation. So the first thing is your daily commute. I think this is the first question you need to ask yourself because it will help you determine if you actually need a car or not. So in my case, it was going to take me an hour 45 minutes to get to work and an hour to 45 minutes as well to come back from work if I chose to take the public transportation. Another option for me would have been taking Uber to work, which would have cost me $50 either way. So $100 a day or $1,600 a month because I work 4 days a week. So in my case, it made more sense to own a car. The next question you want to ask yourself is, how long do I intend to keep this car? So if you intend to keep the car for just a year or 2 or maybe 3, it makes a lot of sense to buy a cheaper car. And at the end of that time frame, if you want to get another car, then you can splurge a little bit more on a car that's a little bit nicer. The last thing you want to consider when buying a car, some people would actually say this is the most important, is depreciation. So it's a commonly known fact that cars lose, at least most cars lose 35% of their value in the first 4 years of ownership. Meaning if I bought myself a 2021 model vehicle, 4 years from now, 35% of whatever I paid for that car is going to be down the drain. Likewise, buying a used car, if I wanted to buy a 2020 version of a car, I'm still in that period when the car is losing so much of its value. So it makes the most sense to buy a car that's just crossed that 4-year window. So for example, the current year is 2021. I should be ideally looking at cars that were released in the 2017 year. Tying this all back to the title of this video, why I wish I didn't spend so much on my car. The reason is money that was not invested in this car is money that would have been used as a launch pad towards my next big purchase. The decisions you make go a long way in determining the quality of life you have in the future. And without a doubt, the big ticket items are the things that you want to focus on. So your rent, your car payments, your car insurance, those things eat the most of your income. That being said, you also want to keep an eye on the smaller things. So how much you spend on eating out every month, how much you spend on clothes, those things also matter. And the best way to keep a good hold on these things is to give yourself a budget. So set a monthly budget on how much you're going to allow yourself spend on these different categories, and once you cross the budget mark, then stop your spending immediately. So what can you do with the money you choose not to spend on your car? If you check out my first video, you see I spoke about investing in the S&P 500. That is something that I would definitely recommend, putting your money in exchange traded funds. Some other things you can do are invest in real estate if you have a big amount of money available to you. If you don't, you can also invest in the stock market, which is a little bit more risky. I personally try to stay away from volatile stocks, but that is another option available to you. You can put your money in bonds, you can put your money in GICs. There are so many options available to you, but like I always say, some of my favorite options are ETFs and real estate. Okay guys, that was my rant for today. Thank you for checking out this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Thank you and stay blessed.